WAI262 claimants have been mobilising their claim, first at Ratana and Waitangi earlier this year, and last week at Te Matatini in Tāmaki Makaurau. WAI262 is more commonly known as the Fauna, Flora and Intellectual Property Rights claim in order to restore tino rangatiratanga of the whānau, hapū and iwi of Aotearoa over our taonga. The claimants are aiming to advance their kaupapa by including whānau, hapū and iwi who are outside the claim. Te Taumata Whakapūmau is a collective of whānau claimants leading the strategy, and member Melanie McGregor from Ngāti Koata is with us now. Tēnā koe, Melanie. Thank you for joining us.
Tēnā tātou. Aye. My privilege to be here.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be speaking with you today. What can you tell us about the kanohi ora strategy?
Well, the kanohi ora strategy is an ethical framework, and it is a process where we want to capture the voices of the iwi, of the hapū and the whānau to develop mātauranga and taonga protection mechanisms. So it's very critical to the claim that we have this body set up to ensure that the voice of Māori is captured and that they can contribute to the national voice of protection for their own taonga Māori. So yeah, really an important kaupapa. Yeah,
we know how important that is to have that consultation. Public submissions for the Therapeutic Products Bill, which seeks to regulate medicines, devices, pharmaceutical ingredients and natural health products, closed this Sunday. Does rongoā Māori have a place within the proposed legislation, and if so, what does it look like?
Well, our Taumata Whakapūmau does not believe that atua Māori should be in the space. And we believe the rongo doesn't belong in the Therapeutic Products Bill. The choice to regulate and commercialise rongoā should be the decision of Māori. And the intellectual property, it actually is limited to the protection of economic and commercial rights. It is not designed to protect our cultural values and the identity associated with mātauranga Māori. So we don't believe it belongs here.
Okay. So looking at the bill, what's the position then of WAI262 to protect rongoā, and what are your biggest concerns?
So in the original claim, the WAI262 claim, rongo was specifically mentioned as one of the taonga. And we want to hold the space for protections to be put in place. The way to move forward appropriately is to have the voices of Māoris, particularly tohunga and rongoā practitioners. We know that they are critical to this process and their voice needs to be heard. Now, this happens through the kanohi ora engagement framework. So, yeah, that's where we believe it belongs.
And having the voices of Māori heard is something we hear time and time again. It needs to be involved in that. So how much confidence do you have in a new rongoā Māori work stream then, which is supposed to work alongside this legislation?
Well, the interesting thing is that they haven't actually run a process yet. And the Taumata thinks that we should listen to the voice of our people that is captured through the kanohi ora strategy. So, not very confident, actually, that this will happen.
Te Taumata Whakapūmau member Melanie McGregor, thank you so much for joining us today, and all the best with your efforts to support what Māori need around, particularly rongoā Māori. Ngā mihi.
Thank you very much.